Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome back to Hit or Miss Hallmark Movie Reviews. I'm John.
I'm Daniela. Is
Still?
that right? Oh my God, I don't know. I'm sick.
You're fine.
Hope everyone is doing well. We're still springing into love here.
Boing.
Yeah. And just a general note, I haven't been too happy with the programming so far. I don't know.
I think she just hasn't been very happy this year.
That's not it. I just think the programming has been very subpar compared to last year. You know, last year we had a second chance at love. Just one kiss, a royal runaway romance, love classified. I mean, they were all spring into love. I looked it up.
Really?
Yes. So
Huh.
this time last year, those were the kind of movies, you know, the caliber that we were seeing. Not all of them were great, but we really loved Just One Kiss and Love Classified. You know, like
Yeah,
we really
those
loved
are
that one.
very good for sure.
And I can't really say I really loved anything I'm seeing this year so far.
I mean, you love Sweeter Than Chocolate.
I did love that one. I did love that one. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm just not feeling the same this year so far.
Well, it's technically pretty early still.
It is, yeah. Okay.
Today we are reviewing Love in the Maldives.
Yes. Starring
Jocelyn Hudon.
and Jake Manley, who I believe is new to Hallmark. So that's good.
Yeah, new to the world. I mean, he looks like a baby.
I know. He actually does have a lot of acting credits, but as we'll get to in our Nit Picky.
And he's Canadian as well.
He's Canadian. He's a local. He's from Oakville.
Oakville.
Very local.
That's just down the street.
Pretty much, so that's awesome. And then, you know, Jocelyn, of course, is also Canadian. She's from Toronto.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
What's this one about?
A travel writer goes to the Maldives and hears about a legendary shipwreck. With the help of her underwater resort's guest experience expert, she might discover love instead of a buried treasure. Not a great synopsis, I know, but I just kind of stole it from IMDb for this one.
Those golden tips could be some buried treasure.
Oh my God, we'll get to that. So, what did we think?
What did we think?
So, right off the bat, the minute I noticed that there was like an inkling in her, Ray is her character, she was being a little bit humdrum about going on assignment to the Maldives, I was like, please don't be annoyed like that. Like, don't complain that you're going to paradise. I'm sure you'll find adventure there, because she's kind of like an adventure junkie, and she thought, oh, only people like on their honeymoon go to the Maldives.
I mean,
like,
I did get that, and you know, there's a reason for her to be annoyed, and kind of the same thing as, you know, that's not really your assignment.
I get it, but I was just like, oh, right off the bat, she's like already like hesitant about going. I would be like, there would be zero hesitation.
Well, yeah.
Take me there.
Yeah, because it's a vacation spot.
Well, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. But thankfully that didn't last too long. We get to the Maldives pretty quickly, which is good. And she wasn't wallowing too much about that.
You were, though.
Yeah.
No, it was pretty quick and concise.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Ray took the whole thing in stride and seemed to treat it like a vacation more than anything.
Yeah, that
which
was
is,
good.
you know, what it really was.
Yeah. So, you know what? Like, I've said this before, but I like the way Hallmark handles destination storylines for the sole reason that they actually go there, at least the majority of the time, I think.
Well, when you can't fake it, you have to go there.
Well, yeah, like we had Italy, Paris, Hawaii, Ireland, Vienna.
Ireland.
Good on them for shelling out on a location budget, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's no faking this one.
You can't fake this one, oh my God. The scenery in this is stunning. Throw in some sets that show an underwater bedroom, which supposedly in real life cost $15,000 a night to stay in that exact
You know what's
bedroom.
funny? And
Suite.
we were looking up places in the Maldives immediately.
Right after, like, how do
during
we
the
go
movie.
there?
But I'm pretty sure I've looked up that exact suite. Like the underwater
Really?
one, yeah, because I remember seeing it. It even looked familiar in the movie.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There was also an underwater dining party area. Some of the water scenes, they showed like luminescence in the water and
Yeah.
fish. And
When
that
algae
was-
hits a certain temperature, it
I
starts to
didn't know.
glow.
I didn't know that. I was like, oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, thankfully they dropped money on the setting because the story leaves little to be desired, unfortunately. I don't know. I just thought it was very by the numbers, which is fine, but also, I don't know, it's just kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it by any means. I just thought it was kind of boring.
No, I mean, I kind of find that with all of the destination Hallmark movies, it's allowed to be a little more boring because it's so much more
But then
about...
you default to location to make up for, you know, there's only so much location can do. It's great to look at, but you still need story. Story is always king.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and the story wasn't anything super special, but
Not
it's
at
still,
all.
you know,
The pacing at the beginning
works.
was great. As I said, they got to the Maldives pretty quickly. But then they just let it slide halfway through, right up until the end. It just got kind of slow.
Well, I mean, it just sort of shifted.
I do appreciate that they had an interesting kind of side story. There was an older single woman traveling alone. She was trying to maybe expand her horizons after her husband had died. I thought that was a more interesting storyline to me. I thought that was more compelling.
Yeah, the romance story wasn't super compelling, but that was very cute.
That's why I liked her storyline. I think that would be very interesting if Hallmark took that approach, finding love after grief in the Maldives, and have that be the main storyline. First of all, that would be different.
Retitled, Love After Grief in the Maldives.
Love After Grief, but you know what I mean?
And I mean, what better place to do it than the Maldives?
Yeah, absolutely. As I mentioned, I was already more interested in Ray and Deborah. Deborah is her name. And I really liked how Ray was slowly trying to get Deborah out of her shell. I really enjoyed that. Again, I thought that was just more of a compelling story than the actual main storyline.
It was a good side story that kind of, made up for any lackluster feelings in the romantic story.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found that pretty cute. It also made sense because of Ray having a solo travel as her whole shtick. It was extra cute when she finally mentions her column to Deborah, and she instantly seemed more comfortable in accepting that you can have a great time on your own.
And I loved that. I thought it was great. Okay, well, why don't we get to performances here? I will say that I thought the chemistry between Ray and Jared was good. Thankfully so, because they're actually, Jake and Jocelyn are actually married in real life.
Yeah, I mean...
So, you'd think there would be even more chemistry.
I didn't really see that on screen, and I didn't really feel it, but I mean, they didn't not have chemistry. It just, you would think that, it would pop off the screen if they're married.
Yeah.
But who knows how long they've been married.
But in terms of performances, I don't know. I think I just wanted to see more depth for both of the characters. I think they were both kind of just very flighty to me and just kind of there.
Yeah.
So really none of the leads were the standout for me, unfortunately. So the standout for me was Deborah, the widow on the solo trip.
Deb.
She played that hesitant woman overcoming grief, starting a new path, very believably. And I liked her a lot.
Yeah, she was great. I mean, I would still say that...
And of course, I loved that storyline more, so it kind of makes sense why.
Yeah, but I mean, that also wouldn't be possible without one of the leads, and so in picking one of the leads, I would say that Jocelyn is a standout for me.
Okay.
She's another one of those actresses who kind of just works on screen. She's really pretty. I never feel like she's hamming it up too much. Yes. And it's always nice to see a Canadian girl.
Absolutely.
Because we don't really get too many
Canadian guy.
female.
Two Canadian leads.
Well, there's lots of Canadian guys, but...
Yeah, that's true, but it's nice to see them together as the leads.
Yeah.
I also just want to mention, in terms of performances, her boss, I guess she's like the editor-in-chief or whoever owns the magazine. I really liked how she showed up in Ray's kind of anxiety-ridden mind.
Yeah, or
in the water.
Nightmares.
Yeah, she showed up in the Maldives, but sitting in a suit in the water with a mug of coffee or something.
Talking about is this the right angle for the story?
Yeah.
Make sure you get it right. And she's trying to ignore her. I like the writing of that, because it was kind of cool to flashback. They did it 3 times, so it was pretty intentional.
But I did like that aspect of it, and that was a good choice on, I guess, the director here, so that was good.
Yeah. I also want to point out, in terms of performances, I also want to point out that this is the second movie we've seen Jocelyn where she travels to a very unique hotel.
Yeah,
it's kind of like her thing, maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe it's Cold Inside.
Oh, is it Cold Inside?
That's what the movie's
Ice
called.
Hotel.
I know. This funny thing, we actually had the script and it was called something completely different.
I know.
But yeah, again, she works for a travel magazine publication, but she travels the exact opposite of the Maldives.
Yes.
An ice hotel, which I'm sure had to be in
I think it was Quebec.
There's no other place that would be.
I liked that movie.
I like that movie too, but as far as I remember, she was the reason I liked it. So she's definitely on my list for female leads, and I hope to see more of her.
Yeah, I do like her. She just, I don't know, she just didn't really stand out to me.
Yeah, she wasn't wow, but she definitely was okay, she did her job. I want to get to writer and director.
Yeah.
This was directed by Colin Thies, who's also given a writing credit here.
Cool.
Other credits include Christmas at Pemberley Manor, Romance at Reindeer Lodge.
Oh my God.
I've never seen that. Why does that make me laugh?
Oh my God.
And Rediscovering Christmas.
Yeah, we like those. I mean, Christmas at Pemberley Manor. No, we like that one. It's just we're not a huge fan of What's-Her-Face.
Lounge.
Yeah. The other writers here are Juliana Wimble. She actually plays Jules in this movie, who is the manager of the resort.
Oh,
there.
cool. Yeah, she was great. Oh, she was one of the writers?
Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Some other credits include A Splash of Love with Rhiannon. Rhiannon? I don't know. Which is another Destination one.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Spotlight on Christmas, I really like that one. And A Dog Lover's Guide to Dating.
Oh.
Vaguely remember that one. I'm sure I've seen it though.
And there's also
the other writer.
Malcolm Wilkins is the last writer here, and I don't see any IMDb credits listed. So
I know.
Must be, or it's just his first venture.
Why don't we get a little bit nitpicky, hit-picky here?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of.
There was a bunch here.
Okay.
Okay, so the first nitpicky. Now, okay, the snorkeling. I'm the first to admit I know absolutely nothing about swimming, water, let alone snorkeling. But Ray, so she's repeatedly shown snorkeling. And supposedly, like, she actually is scuba certified, like the actress, like Jocelyn
Really?
is. Yeah.
You read that?
Yeah.
Oh.
But like she's repeatedly shown snorkeling in what appears to be like very shallow water. Like it didn't look more than 6 feet. And it had like a smooth bottom and like, I don't know, there was hardly any plant life in there. I mean, is this common? Like I didn't think people went snorkeling in such shallow water. Also, there's like usually beautiful like flora and fauna, I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And I also thought like, you have to snorkel with like oxygen masks, right? Like, or else how do you breathe?
No, the snorkel is the oxygen part. Snorkel is just a straw.
No tank?
No, there's no tank. Snorkeling is only a thing sticking out of your mouth that sticks out of the water.
I don't know, it just looked too like free.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. It's basically free diving. And I'll have to step in here and point out that Daniela can't swim.
I don't know how to swim.
So,
I don't. Like,
she's definitely out
I don't
of her,
even know how to float.
She's definitely out of her element here. Basically, you only snorkel in shallow water. Otherwise, there's nothing to look at. If you snorkeled in deep water, all you see is blue. There's no fish, there's no nothing. Every like snorkeling expedition I've ever been on, they take you to the middle ocean, but it's a very shallow coral reef or something that you can see from the surface of the water. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense.
Man, I had no idea.
Oh, for sure. And the other scenes where they're actually diving under is when he said he was going to teach her how to pearl dive, like they were pearl diving. So that's basically free diving, no tanks necessary. You just hold your breath and go until you need to resurface for air. Being scuba certified would help in those situations because you know how to keep your breathing steady and not to panic. So you'd be good at it. And she mentioned she was scuba certified in the movie as well. So therefore you'd be cleared to at least try pearl diving.
You know so much.
I guess so.
Wow. Okay.
I've always wanted to go pearl diving.
I learned something.
I just can't go I can't go very deep in the water. I don't even think I could scuba dive. My ears get like off the mouth.
Never.
No, that's fine.
Speaking of ears.
More nitpicky.
Oh my gosh. Okay. The frosted tips. I mean, we have to talk about it. I think everybody's talking about it. I couldn't help but think of Jake Peralta when he was in witness protection in Florida.
At one point, I think I forgot where the tip of me ended and the base of the tips began.
I mean, it was awful. I know the early 2000s style is coming back, but I'm not a fan of this. And while I was writing my notes for this one, I was like, man, I seem to be like nitpicky about the lead's hair in a lot of these movies. Christopher Palaha, his like emo hair. But I'm just not sure about these choices. I don't like it.
Maybe people are just getting bored with the hairstyles. I mean, I will say it felt a little 90s more than 2000s.
Oh, I thought it was early 2000s.
Yeah, I don't know, or late 90s. But in terms of anyone pulling off frosted tips, I thought that Jake Manley was right up there with Jake Peralta. But yeah.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either. That hairstyle sucks, for sure.
Another big thing that like we actually like rewound the movie to watch this part again was the CGI turtle.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that was awful. I guess all the budget did actually go to the location because they didn't have any extra budget, like not even an extra $1,000 or $1,200 or whatever on visual effects. I mean, it looked bad.
God, no. Yeah, the turtle was very bad.
And it was the central focus of the scene.
Well, yeah,
it was a reveal.
It was very quick. But yeah, I'm sure when you're paying $11K or $15K a night for a room, the VFX budget is the first thing to go down the drain.
It just looked bad, and it was such a focal point, and I don't know, it was weird.
I wonder if I can fix it.
Okay, another nitpicky. This might be controversial, I don't know. I just got, I don't know, when I looked at him, he looked too young. I thought Jake looked like a little baby. That's just a very personal
That's
opinion.
personal. I mean, at first he definitely did, and then, depending on the scene, he looked a little more age appropriate. But looking at some of his photos online, like, yeah, he looks like early 20s, but he's 30 something.
Yeah, and I don't
30,
even think
but-
he looked too young for her. He was just a young lead man, and that's just not really my preference. I like to see a little bit more of a mature leading man in my Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I get it.
Every time I looked at him, I just couldn't help but think of like the surfer dude, skater boy.
I'm already there, dudes! Check it out!
Oh, for sure.
Like,
And it was,
you know?
it was a little harder to take him seriously, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Even like when he was kind of brooding and being like, I just want this to be serious. I want her to not look at the sunken treasure ship. And he just, he had this like young, pouty sort of thing going on.
Yeah, and it's true.
I mean, he's very,
could-
very cute, though.
He's obviously very cute, very attractive.
They look like a good couple, and I guess that makes sense them actually being a couple.
I prefer someone who looks more distinguished, more mature. Now, granted, they're in the Maldives, they're on a resort, they're in the hot, blistering sun on a beach.
Yeah.
You're not going to be wearing a suit or a tie or anything like that.
No, I know.
That
He
lends
was always
itself
kind
more
of
to the mature look.
Well, to that effect,
But-
I mean, I had more of a problem with him being like wet in every scene. Yeah, I get it. He lives on the water, he works in the water, but man, like
He's always wet.
And wet frosted tips look so bad. It's like at least when they're dry, it kind of makes sense, but not when they're soggy.
Ew, soggy frosted tips.
Soggy frosted tips. That sounds like a good
God.
scenario.
Ew. Another nitpicky, for someone who didn't pack much, which she clearly states in the beginning, I mean, her bag was literally
she
a
shows
small
the bag.
gym bag that it wasn't even like full. It like collapsed on itself. Where did she get all those heels and dresses?
I'll stand up for this one because
Okay.
this is an old school nitpick. A lot of people say, her luggage wasn't big enough, but this is one that you can easily rebut because a resort like that definitely has some nice clothing shops.
So you think she bought them?
Oh, absolutely. I've been to
Sure.
resorts not even close to that nice, and there's like Chanel and like Gucci.
I get
it's
it.
like-
I get it.
They didn't have to show it either. It just makes sense. It's like she showed up and she's like, oh, I actually need some dresses to wear or whatever. It reminded me of like Captain Holt in Brooklyn Nine-Nine when he shows up
one
to
of
the
those
resort.
earlier. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when he shows up to their honeymoon, he doesn't
my
have any
gosh.
clothes.
Next thing I knew, I was on a plane to Mexico. Didn't even pack a bag.
I bought a bundle of novelty shirts at a nearby gift shop. This one says, "What's up, beaches?"
Instead of bitches for humor reasons.
He buys all the. Oh my God, that's
Well,
two Brooklyn Nine-Nine references.
I
for
know.
this. The dance scene.
The high school dance?
Yeah, granted, I thought the whole AirPod music thing was cool so that they didn't disturb all the sea life.
Yeah,
there.
that makes sense.
That was interesting. But the whole scene to me felt like a high school prom. I mean, for a luxury resort, I would expect a really classy event, and it just didn't look good.
It didn't look good, but I think the main thing is it didn't look big enough. Like it felt like that.
Tiny.
It felt like that scene and probably a bunch of other scenes weren't filmed there. Like it was a pickup scene they got later. Like, oh, just get a dark room and this will be the disco. But
Probably.
like that was definitely a lackluster disco for the place it was. And I know discos.
Okay, so why don't we get to some hits?
You got some?
Well, the location. I mean, hands down, the best part of the movie
Yeah.
is the location. If you dream of going to the Maldives and living up in bougie resorts,
The bouge.
just watch this one for that reason alone.
Yeah, it'll make you feel nice. You'll definitely be looking up vacation spots or like the Maldives.
We did,
I mean, we
yeah.
found some that weren't that expensive.
It's actually quite reasonable,
2,000 or
surprisingly.
$3,000 for a
I mean, a
week,
lot,
all inclusive.
but-
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
I've paid that much for Dominican Republic.
Along with the location, I think it was cool that the shipwreck in this movie was in fact a real shipwreck. It was called the Kyoto
Kyoto.
shipwreck in Vavu Atoll. I don't know what
I
I'm
don't know what
saying.
any of that means.
The shipwreck is thought to be an Indonesian shipwreck that capsized and washed ashore.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a cool story.
So that was all right.
How about that underwater room?
You know what? My dream of living in a bubble on the water realized. So that's another hit. I loved the underwater bedroom. Maybe not in real life, because I think maybe having been sick and having my ear plugged, I feel like it's a nightmare to actually.
I mean,
I think the pressure.
You're
would
not
be
that
bad.
deep. I think it's only like 10 feet. 10
Well,
feet.
then that's fine. But, I keep having this reoccurring dream of floating on the water in a boat that's encapsulated by glass.
Oh, the dome over it.
Or
Yeah,
a
that's
plastic-
exactly
Yeah,
the
there's
same
like a
thing.
dome, like a shield protecting us from the weather, and it miraculously gives us food. And I don't know, this is like my dream. And anyway, it was kind of realized in this movie. So that's
Great.
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that. So, did this hit or miss the Hallmark for you?
I mean, in spite of like criticizing basically pretty much the whole plot and saying it was boring,
You can do that. Yeah.
it was a hit. It was a very soft hit, very soft, but
But a
it
hit
did allow
nonetheless.
for some escapism, and the Maldives saved it. Watch it for the Maldives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was looking for
Yeah.
things to like really pull it apart. I mean, yeah, there's some Nit Picky, but otherwise it was like, the movie still did it for me.
It was okay. It was okay.
It's okay.
It was easy.
Yeah, okay.
Easy watch with sun and beautiful scenery. Beautiful people to look at, but not much else.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. What else?
Sounds neat to say
you don't
that,
need
but-
much else, really. Well, let's get to our Hallmark report card.
Yeah. Promotion or deadline?
Yes.
Yes. For her article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Career-driven lead.
Yes. I would say they both were because he wanted to start his own travel business.
Yeah, he
and
already had like
his
that
wellness
was
travel
his that
business.
was his business there.
Yeah.
He just wanted to take it international.
Yeah. Big misunderstanding. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Change of heart.
Is there a big change of heart here though? She seemed pretty into him from the beginning.
Yeah, but her view on what she was going to write about.
Oh, sure. Okay, we can go there. Okay. Someone gets dumped, fired, or dies? No.
No. Second romance subplot.
I'm gonna say no. Even though the Deborah,
No, there was no romance.
that was no romance, I guess, but no.
Proposal or wedding?
No. Travel issues.
Definitely
no issues.
Selling the house, business, or farm?
No. Big city, small town transition. I mean,
Yeah, I guess so.
they went to Maldives.
Is that a small? Yeah, it is very small town.
Small
They did say
island.
when they went to the island, when they went to the downtown, they said it was like one of the most densely populated places in the world.
Oh,
Because it's a
okay,
very
yeah.
small island with a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay. So
But
yes.
you know, the resort they were in was pretty.
Yeah. The almost kiss. I'm gonna say no, even though there was a moment when they were dancing that could have potentially been an almost kiss, but they didn't go like all the way. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like not even halfway all the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
And Mad Dash.
It wasn't a mad dash. No.
No dash.
No. Let us know what you thought of Love in the Maldives. Was it a hit or miss for you? Let us know.
Comments below.
Yeah. And we'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few days for the review of The Professional Bridesmaid.
We'll see. We'll spring into love. I don't know, spring something new and inspiring and creative and entertaining.
Yeah, we're still just trying
hope.
to catch up. We were both sick for like
I'm
2
still
weeks.
sick. It's not going on 2 weeks. Anyway.
But we'll get there. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.